and sometimes it can be like none. So if I add guest, invite. Hopefully that works. I'll message them out and say, hello to people joining. I'm not sure if that's actually worked.
I think I'm doing it.
We're just waiting for the guest to arrive. So for those that don't know who are joining, we are starting a new TikTok series where every Tuesday we go live with a small business owner who has been successful on TikTok, and we will be interviewing them, kind of sharing the tea on how they've grown on TikTok. I've just realised I was actually going to do something else, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So yeah, we're just waiting for the first guest to arrive. What does host mean? Oh, maybe it's this. I'm not sure. So yeah, for those joining, hello and welcome. Oh, there we go. Invite. Hopefully that works. Oh, I think it is.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, it's not. It says I'm only. Oh, here. There we go. I think my video. Oh. So, there we go. Now you can see me, I think.
I thought you could kind of make it bigger. Oh, there we go. This might work. There we go. That's better.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
How's it going? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So yeah, I was just saying to everyone that's joining that this is our new TikTok series, which is called Spilling the TikTok Tea. So we'll be joined every week by a small business owner that is going successfully on TikTok, and we will be kind of sharing how you guys have grown on TikTok, sharing your top secrets, growth tips, and kind of delving into your strategy. So we'll start off by introducing kind of ourselves as Morgan Brandon. So we are a marketing and TikTok agency, mainly specialising in TikTok and helping businesses grow on the platform. And we are joined today by FlirtyPineapple. So if you would like to tell everyone a little bit about you.
Of course. So my name's Madison. I'm actually based in Toronto, Canada. And we have almost exclusively grown our business on TikTok, which wasn't necessarily our plan when we started. We were like, no, TikTok, like, not our thing. Like, let's focus on one of those other social media platforms. And we saw some other small businesses growing, and we were like, okay, we have to go for it. We have to give it a try. And honestly, it has really transformed our business. Like, there are times we would have no sales if it wasn't for TikTok. So it's crazy the power of this platform. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. You've been doing really well as well. So well done to you guys. I would just like to say before we get started as well, I have got a cold, which has only just come on, so I might sound a little bit weird. So sorry if I do.
I'm just also like recovering from a cold. I'm like not normally this, and I have a dog in the background who is like not happy right now, but hopefully I gave her some treats, so hopefully she'll be quiet.
We're also joined today by Rachel. Do you want to just pop in and say hello?
Hello.
So Rachel's just going to kind of moderate the comments, and if anyone asks any questions whilst we're chatting, and it's kind of relevant, Rachel, just let us know. So yeah, for those that are watching and those that have joined, if you have got any questions about TikTok, about how FlirtyPineapple have grown to almost 20,000 followers on TikTok as a small business owner, feel free to pop your questions as we go, and we'll either wait until the end to have a bit of a Q&A, or if it's relevant to kind of what we're chatting about, we'll dive in. So my first question for Madison is, when did you start your TikTok account?
So we started probably 2 years ago, I want to say. But I guess the better question or answer is that we really started taking it seriously within the last year.
Yeah.
So at first we would just kind of post, not a lot of strategy, just like throw Hail Marys and hope for the best. But within the last year, we've really tried to adopt like a little bit more strategy and focus a lot more on prioritizing TikTok versus some of those other platforms.
Yeah. So you'd say maybe like the last year has been kind of the main push for you guys to grow to that 18,
Yeah.
19,000 mark.
I think we're like always trying new things and growing. Like my thing so much is like trial and error a lot of the time. I mean, there are algorithms and professionals, I mean, can spend a little bit more time like doing the research on those things. That's why there are people doing what you do. Whereas as a small business owner, I wear a million different hats. So sometimes for me, it's really hard to know what TikTok wants. That's why I've followed you guys for so long. And so I think for me, like I'm constantly trying new things. Even over the last few weeks and months, I've been kind of re-strategizing. I'll note, like you'll notice our views actually like trickle down a little bit, which we'll get into like my whole feeling on views themselves. But I think there's always room to be like adopting new strategies, trying new things, and just exploring the platform for what it is.
Yeah, 100%. We always say to people, find what works for you. It'll take a little bit of trial and error. But the more you practice, the more you try different things, you'll eventually figure out what it is that does work for your business, what works for you on TikTok. That might be certain content styles. It might be, that TikTok isn't your platform altogether and, you want to focus elsewhere. So it is really important to test different things and kind of, whatever does work, you just want to keep repeating that strategy essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like you raised a really key point there too, is it is like knowing where your customers are and focusing on that. But it's also interesting because for so long, TikTok was this platform just for young people. And it's like, my mom's almost 70 and she lives on TikTok. Like, yeah. So it's like, we've talked for so long that like TikTok is only for like a certain audience. And yes, there are definitely demographics in higher populations on TikTok, but there's a lot of people on here. Like, and TikTok is really turning into, I think they've said like, aside from like Google, Pinterest, and YouTube, like it is becoming a top search engine now. Yeah. So it's like, it's really transformed, but it is still important to consider where your customers are, who they are, how they buy, like how they do all of that, and then be showing up where they are. For us, oh my God, my mom is here. That's so funny. But it is like, it's important to know where your customers are, but I honestly believe like you can also kind of find your customers on TikTok too if you're using SEO, which I'm sure we're going to talk quite a bit about.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely an interesting place to be, and I love it.
Yeah. See, a lot of people say to us, a lot of businesses wanting or trying to get started on TikTok, they say, isn't it just a platform for kids to dance on? And it's like, maybe it might have started a little bit like that, but it is completely, not like that anymore. And, it depends on your interests and your likes. So, like you just said about your mum being on TikTok, my parents are on TikTok, my grandparents are on TikTok. So although it did start to be, maybe a younger person's platform at the beginning, it's definitely evolved to have a huge variety of audiences on the app now. And with the For You page and the algorithm being so, specific, it does allow people to reach, their dream customers and their real target audience based on their likes and their dislikes.
Exactly. Like it's the power of search within TikTok and the ability to be discovered by people that you may never see or contact elsewhere. Like other platforms don't necessarily have the power to get you in front of your ideal customer just by them scrolling on their phone, and you're not paying for ads. Again, a whole other topic about, I mean, you can, but the amount of stuff that you can do for free with the right strategy, like I would always say to like, if you're going to invest in some of these platforms, you're better to invest in like people that can help you grow or produce content or do all of that over ads necessarily. So it's like
100%.
it's incredible just the ability to get new customers. I think that is the key. There's definitely other platforms that can really help nurture a lot more, I would say. But in terms of like building awareness and really getting like in front of new people, like TikTok is like insane for that. And that's why I love it.
Yeah, definitely. The brand awareness side of things with TikTok is incredible. You know, people have got that the chance to get millions of views on their first video with no followers. You know, there is a huge potential for reach and to attract, you know, new people, like you said. But yeah, also once you have reached those people, things like this going live and kind of building that community, building a presence for yourself, creating customer connections. You know, there's a lot more kind of along the line with TikTok that you can start to progress with as you grow as a business.
Yeah, I mean, for us, lives have been probably the way that we've grown to 18,000, I would say. Our content and video strategy has always been a little like willy-nilly. Like sometimes it has just been that like just post for the sake of posting, not always quality over quantity. I find it really hard sometimes to, you know, talk less about features and more about the benefits of our product. That's where I'm like spending a bit more time now doing that because I've recognized the importance of it. So for us, like the 18,000, like we've had a couple like viral videos or like bouts. I use quotes because like I think sometimes people think like viral is like 40 million. For me, it's just like a good amount of views, more an uptick than what we normally have. And our followers have always been consistent, which is something I love because yes, a viral video is great, but if the viral video isn't enough about our business, then people might not be following us for the right reasons anyway. And I'd rather have 1,000 views, but those 1,000 views, those 1,000 followers are people who are going to continue to buy and continue to support than have 200,000 followers, but they don't do anything. They're just there and they've maybe followed us once. But for me, going live is where people have been able to come in. They've got to know me. I treat our TikTok lives kind of like if I were to have a storefront. So in Canada, we don't have the ability to do the TikTok shopping. We just can go live. But it's the opportunity for me to welcome people in, showcase my product, get to know them like as me, the human behind the brand, and connect with them that way. And that has been probably the biggest part of the business. Like I have like the community that is built from me going live. Obviously we've got sales too, which is great, but we have built such amazing relationships with people who continue to support us. Like some of them are here because they know that I'm doing this and it means a lot to me. They're not here because I'm doing a giveaway for free product. And I think that's what's been really cool with going live, having this steady growth, is I'm still able to really have these relationships with our followers, which is like the most amazing part to all of this that I never expected. Like I never expected this out of TikTok. Like again, dancing videos, show my product, like that was it. And I have people who are like so incredibly supportive and they do shop. They shop. It's just like, it's just such a like sweet, I don't even know. Like, I honestly don't have words sometimes. Like, when I try and explain TikTok and I try to explain like the power of community to people who think it is just dancing videos, it's like really hard to like pinpoint exactly what it is. But TikTok lives are like my jam, my bread and butter. Like, we love going live on TikTok. It's weird. It was hard at first, don't get me wrong, but now it
takes a while to kind of get into it, but once you start building that community, building those customer connections, it does definitely improve. So what would you say your top 3 tips for going live as a small business owner would be to kind of build that community and to sell?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the first thing is you have to get to 1,000 followers to be able to go live.
Yeah.
We won't get into that because you and I would probably say different things on how to get the 1,000 followers. But when it comes to going live, I think the first thing that I always try and stress to people is don't be so worried if there are only like 3 people in your live, because you are, one, pleasing TikTok. We always want TikTok to be happy with us at the end of the day, and doing things using features that TikTok gives you is important. So I always say to like keep that in the back of your mind is, yes, you are doing it for the connections in the community, but at the beginning, it's really tough to see that sometimes. And I think it really is like weathering the initial storm, because we were going live, not consistent, not with much plan or anything, but we were just like going live. But like Quinn, who's in here, like she would spend so much time with us and we always had someone to engage with. And so it's like, even when you only have a few people in, normally there's a couple of them who are willing to chat with you and like talk, and that continues to build the watch time of your lives. And all of those things help TikTok see and continue to push it out. But Quinn is an amazing customer of ours. Beyond that, she's also just like an amazing person. Tamara's here, like, and so you think that there are only 1 or 2 people in there, but again, people who have thousands, those people are probably watching for a myriad of reasons. Like, it may not actually be to be a potential like customer or community member or anything like that. So I think the main thing is not being discouraged by low views. There are times I go live now, like, I mean, we've had lives with like hundreds of people in it, but a lot of the time the lives are just like 5, 10, 15 people. But being able to build those relationships, also for me as a small business owner, it can get lonely. If you're a small business and you have a very small team, or you're only one person, like, it can be very lonely. So having like that, even though it's just people typing back to me, like, it does a lot for me as a business owner as well. So the main thing is definitely not getting discouraged. I think too, you obviously want to be able to showcase, I'm really sorry about my dog. Everyone from my lives is used to it because he does that sometimes. Then you want to be able to still showcase your product. I mean, I think that is a big piece. I don't love being like a hard seller. That's not like my thing, being like, here's this product or this product or this. So what I'll do is like, I do a lot of order packing on lives so that I can show what people are actually purchasing. And I think that's a great way to show my product. If you don't have orders, you can pretend you have orders. Thankfully, I've never had to do that, but there's a lot of different ways to like showcase your product. Just having it in frame, build a little curiosity. Even now, this kind of trickles, I wouldn't say it's like a major point, but having moderators. So these girls who've been in my lives so much I have them as moderators. They know just as much about my business as I do. And it's really helpful that if we see, this is just something like recently I've thought of adopting. So if we see like an uptick in people coming in the live, then they'll actually like kind of preemptively ask me some questions, because I am so awkward at showing products and like being a hard seller. So they'll ask me questions about my products so that I can show them a little bit more. And honestly, like my third tip would really be like, not worrying about views, being able to showcase your product, and honestly, just like being yourself. I know like people always say that, but like you are the only you. And if you can feel comfortable, and I guess it's not necessarily like you, in the case of small businesses, it's a team of one, but having a person. Like honestly, Anna, for the longest time, I thought you were Morgan Brand. I'm sure Callum maybe doesn't want to hear, but it's having that like human
face to the brand. Yeah.
And so it's like, no matter who it is, it's just having the human side of it. I know people are always like nervous to get behind camera. And if you can't, maybe there is someone who can.
Yeah.
But having that recognizable human is just such a key piece. I mean, we're all human at the end of the day, and the ability to build connections and relate to people is so important, especially in today's world. So having that like human element is just like so key. So whether it's you or someone else, just being able to like be yourself and just like build that sort of human connection.
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen with clients and followers, the brands that really work best on TikTok and that are successful on the platform are those that have a face to the brand and humanize the products, because people don't buy from businesses, people buy from people. So when you're tapping into emotions, you're showing, you know, what the product looks like, you're showing it in real life, you're showing the benefits. You know, it does make it a lot easier for consumers to tap into that product, to tap into that kind of business, to want to, you know, build that community, build that customer connection with yourself, and, you know, vice versa. So from what we've seen, definitely the way forward is to have that face of the brand.
It's so key. Like it doesn't matter who it is, but having that like human element. And I mean, I think another big thing which we've talked about and I continue to talk about is really trial and error. I know people don't always love to hear it, but for me, like I'm very careful with my consumption. Obviously, I spend half my time scrolling TikTok for my own like entertainment, but then the other half is like seeing what other people are doing. You still want to be uniquely yourself, but like if you see someone has a different sort of camera angle, like maybe try that. Like I would never say to copy, because then you're constantly going to be chasing that person's like followers or business, and that just doesn't work. TikTok favors being original. But when you're scrolling to like, if you're your target customer, just like always thinking about your target customer when you are behaving on certain platforms, to see like what makes sense, and then trying different things is like such a key piece. Like sometimes we come on and like Liam is my boyfriend who sews all of our scrunchies. Sometimes he'll just sew. Like it's just like having the ability to try things and see what works. For the longest time, I wasn't packing orders. I saw other people were packing orders and I'm like, oh, that's kind of smart. Like if I have orders to pack, why not? And so I started doing that, right? Like other people just zoom in and like what they're making is so mesmerizing that it's just them talking. Like just you have to try things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you know, you obviously do lives quite a lot, don't you? Do you ever kind of do like giveaways or like competitions? I feel like that's a really good way for small businesses to, you know, promote their products, encourage the sales, and create that demand for the products.
Yeah, we definitely do as things are picking up. And this is something to like trying a million different things. Like I have tried so many different kinds of giveaways, and we always like rotate through. Like so sometimes, if we notice a lot of people come in, we'll do giveaways. I try and keep them. For a while, like we would do, like if Liam was sewing, he was like, I'll give away like this scrunchie. But that didn't necessarily like then we have to pay postage and all of that. It gets a little bit more expensive. So we do gift cards, and we do like smaller increments, but it's a way to then get people to shop. If they get a $15 gift card, they'll maybe get 2 things, have to pay. Like, I mean, there's basic business logic that comes in there. Sometimes I do big gift cards. We've also done like fun promos too. Valerie, who's in here, got really sucked in one day, where I did anyone who spent over a certain amount would get an additional item in their order. And I actually let them choose what product they wanted. And I let it be unreleased products. And Valerie was dying to get some of our new stuff. So she purchased, and I was able to get the product to her early, which was a lot of fun for both of us. So I wouldn't say there's like one thing I've noticed that like works more than others. You know, I see people who do, if you get to a certain, like, if they write down order numbers in advance and if they get that many orders, but I don't always get that many orders. Sometimes I get no orders on a live. Sometimes I get 12. So for me, it's a little bit easier to do those like more incentive based things, opposed to like really getting people to order. Plus, I feel bad if like people are ordering because they may win something. I'd rather just give something to everyone who orders or no one. And I say this all too with a little bit of discretion. Obviously, our products are at a lower price point, so I do have the ability to throw in a free product here and there. If you're selling like something that's like hundreds of dollars, that may not work. Maybe the gift card, but again, it's about figuring out what works for your business, right? And I think that is like the key piece. But being able to look at what other people are doing and try different things as well. But yeah, giveaways are, I mean, we love giveaways. It's just, I mean, you have the potential to get your product to people who may never. A lot of the people, like even Quinn, initially came from one of those other platforms, but it was on a giveaway. Like, and it's just like, sometimes it's just the easiest way for people to try your product. And now she's like, has one of the like highest amounts of orders. So it's just a great way if you have the ability to do it.
With TikTok, we always say, you know, it's kind of like a funnel. So at the top, you know, where the triangles are widest, that's all the followers. But not every single one of those followers are always going to get to that buy-in point at the, you know, at the tip of the triangle. So you kind of have to filter your way down, do, you know, experiment with new things. You know, not all the followers will enter the lives. When they enter the lives, not all of them will enter the giveaways. And then, you know, you create that funnel and really try and drive those people that want to buy and want to, you know, build a relationship with you as a business owner. You do want to kind of funnel them down through experimenting with different things and different techniques.
Yeah, exactly. It's huge. And I forget that I even do it. And that's what's so funny about all of this is it's like, I forget that I do some of these things because it's just like second nature. Like, oh, a bunch of people are on the live. Let's do a giveaway. A lot of the time on Fridays I do because, I mean, by the time we get to Friday, like we're all ready to just have a little bit of fun and like not worry about things. So Fridays are normally, I also like when Liam, like my partner, comes on and does lives, he just gives away everything. And I'm like, okay, I can't, because I do go live pretty frequently. I can't necessarily like always do a giveaway. We have to like be a little bit of a smart business. But it is definitely a fun way. And like no one doesn't like free things. Like when has anyone ever been like, I don't like free stuff? Like, it's just unheard of. So it's funny, like a lot of them are saying like their first order was when we were giving away like a free scrunchie with order, like anything like that. So it's definitely a good like way to entice people and engage them a little bit.
Rachel, sorry, would you be able to tap where it says the new messages? I've not been able to see anything that's gone.
Oh no.
Thank you.
I've been like trying to keep an eye, but if I am so guilty. I think this is part of like people just getting to know me on live. It's like with the comments, like I get sidetracked so easily. So I'm like trying to catch some, but like not read too many because I'll just be like off on another tangent.
Yeah, no.
So
I just couldn't see any coming through, and I was thinking, are people not commenting, or is that just because it's not showing up on my screen? And then I could see the message count going up. But yeah, that's fine. So my next question is, do you have a social media strategy for TikTok?
So kind of yes, kind of no. Not in the way that you would probably do. But I think for me recently, actually, so okay, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. So this is what's like really interesting with TikTok is sometimes it's easy to lack inspiration from a content standpoint. I honestly don't know how you come up with all the juicy stuff that you do. Obviously, like, you're an expert for that reason. Sometimes it's like really hard, like, oh, what should I post about today? Because we don't have a formal strategy, and we've tried here and there. And so sometimes I will just like make a video, and then that video does well, and then it's like, okay, what's happening here? And so for the longest time, a lot of our videos that were getting more views, more follows were because I was sharing small business tips.
Yeah.
And so I noticed we were getting a ton of small business owners. We have a ton of small business owners who support us, which is great, but they're not necessarily like our target audience. And so a few months ago, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I love that I have all of these tips, but if I want to share them, I think that has to be a separate account. And so let's focus on our target customer. It's taken us a year and a half, 2 years, a year to get to this point that we're at now, because I do everything on my own. So now I finally sat down and said, okay, who's our target customer? What are they searching on TikTok? Yeah. Who are they following? What are they doing? I mean, I was still using SEO and all of that for my other stuff, but it was just like, what is that? Like, what is our target? And then I thought I had kind of discovered that, okay, like, let's post more hair care, hair tutorials, all of that. And the other day, honestly, like, this is all pretty recent, ironically. The other day I had this other epiphany of I am really selling, like, pushing features and not benefits, like how I want someone to feel. And I was struggling so much. And I came across, because the cool thing that you do sometimes is you post a lot of like general information for like any business owner. But then sometimes you do like business specific. Yeah. And I find a lot of like TikTok coaching advice accounts speak a lot to service-based industries and less to product. And they're also sharing their experience, which it's a different experience if you're sharing or like talking about a service and growing a service base opposed to a product. And so I like really had this like long, hard thought the other day and finally developed like somewhat of a strategy to say, okay, in a week, we want to make sure we're covering these topics. This is how we're going to present them. And I started coming up with more series-based content, which makes sense because people want to follow series. So it has taken me a long time. And this is why I always say to small business owners, sometimes it makes sense to give that financial investment, because the amount of time that I have spent creating videos that have gone nowhere, that just and that I'm stressed trying to think of things. And I'm honestly not saying this because like we're having this conversation. It's literally an epiphany I had like within the last few weeks. And so hopefully we're going to try this strategy out and see what happens. And so that's where, you know, I was talking a little bit about views being lower and things like that. That can be really hard to wrap your head around. But for me, I knew that it was the right thing to be doing to try and shift. You know, I noticed our For You page changing, right? I was engaging with different accounts and content. You know, I can tell when my boyfriend's on our account because all of a sudden I'm seeing golf stuff come up more. Like, it's crazy. And so for me, it has taken a really long time to get to this point and to have an ounce of a strategy.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I had the clean strategy with going live, like that's one piece. But when it comes to the actual content itself, that was like a huge area that took me so long to get to. Still not perfect, but I think for me, the strategy is now really focusing on SEO. And I think there was a question at some point, like, what is SEO on TikTok? Obviously in your videos, you do a really great job explaining it. I've done a couple, but it's similar to SEO with Google, with any other platform. It's using TikTok's tools. So making sure that you're using your keywords throughout your captions, the copy on your videos, everywhere within the video, but then also searching that keyword within TikTok and seeing what is coming up. What are the top
100%.
performing, like, what are the top performing keywords? What are those people doing? I think the other key thing too with SEO that isn't like always talked about is like also making sure that that keyword makes sense and is something that people are searching for. Specifically, your ideal customer is searching for. Because Liam and I were having this conversation the other day. We have our towel scrunchies, which are a really unique product. If I type in towel scrunchie as my keyword and into TikTok, someone already has to know what a towel scrunchie is in order to be searching it. I want to be getting involved in someone's like skincare routine, because it's like they're great on your wrist when you're washing your face. It like stops water running down your, like, silly, but like that's the person I want. And so sometimes it's more than just like the keyword itself. It's actually thinking of like the keyword that someone is searching on the platform to also find you, because someone isn't necessarily looking for like a workout scrunchie in our case. They're looking for solutions when they're working out. And so I think that's also a key piece with SEO. So yeah, like incorporating a really good SEO strategy. I really like this idea of doing series to elicit like more engagement.
Series is one of like the biggest things that we recommend to clients, because when you're constantly encouraging people to come back onto your profile and to re-engage with your account, you're telling TikTok, look, all these people, like my content, they're engaging with me, and ultimately you'll get pushed further and further into the algorithm, down the view page. And when people do start engaging with your account, the way TikTok actually pushes your content out is by finding replicated versions of those people. So finding the people that like the same things as they do on their For You page, with similar hobbies, interests, things like that. So the more you're able to re-engage people, the further you're able to push your business into the world, essentially, through TikTok. So
and that's even for me, like I was like, okay, like we would do series every once in a while, but then I'm like, they were series based on features and not benefit. So I'm like, okay, it's cool that I'm doing a series, like pick a color, I'm going to show you the products we have in that color. Like maybe someone's going to follow that, but like it's not really going to elicit. So now I'm doing like a series of claw clip hairstyles. So it's like I'm constantly using my product, but I'm not like shoving it down someone's throat being like, this is why you need it, it's bigger, stronger, more durable. It's that like more subtle reminder. I can still do, like, we still have some videos that do well that are a bit more like feature based. Like we know, but this kind of comes back to a little bit within the strategy of knowing what works too and reincorporating that into your strategy. And so like one of the videos we do we just got an order. We have an order counter and it goes off, so I get really excited. So one of the things we do that like always garners us some views is we take one of our towel scrunchies and we show how absorbent it is in a cup of water. And it's like pretty straightforward, but we know that like elicits that curiosity. People want to see what's happening. And it's not heavy on like features or benefits necessarily, but it's one of those like things that we can do. New people come in, they get curious about our brand, then they go to our profile and they start engaging a little bit more. We have pinned videos that, again, aren't our highest viral videos. They're videos about our business.
Yeah, and this is, whilst we're on that topic, while people are watching, this is like one of my biggest takeaways if you're a small business. Don't just pin the videos that performed best. Pin the videos that are actually going to convert people, have a call to action in those videos. What do you want these people to do? Because the first thing that people are going to do when finding your video on the For You page, if they're interested, is go onto your profile, see your top 3 pinned videos. And if those pinned videos are engaging, nurturing, entertaining, educational, and providing value for those potential customers, and they are driving people to maybe sign up to your newsletter for a discount code, or to, go onto TikTok Shop for those in, the UK. If you've got something that can convert people, pretty much instantly through those pinned videos, that's really important. So definitely kind of take that advice.
Right. It's the little things, I think, that like it's great to have like a strategy. I mean, you need to have a strategy. If anyone has taken anything away, it took me 2 years to get to a place where I could have paid someone for some help. But I think it's also just like it's showing up, quality over quantity, but being consistent. One thing we do always try and do is still post daily. I know there's always mixed reviews on like if you should or shouldn't be, but for us it keeps us engaged with the platform too. If we know like we need a post, it's just posting with strategy. And that is like I've been doing it. I've been hearing the videos. I've been seeing everything that's like, you need to have a strategy. You need to have a strategy. But your girl was just throwing Hail Marys. Some things were working. So it's taken a long time. How long do you suggest? Someone just asked, how long do you suggest? This is probably like a good one for Anna, because.
So how long do you suggest making your videos? It really does depend on the content style and, the goal of that video. So you've obviously got your trends, which could be between, 5 to 15 seconds. However, TikTok was initially built on trends and trending content. People really enjoyed that side of it. But TikTok are really pushing long form content now. So as well as having those short videos that show off your products, that kind of attract your audience, you also want to be focusing on videos that are a minute long, 2 minutes long, that you're really showing value and you're educating people. The argument here, people come to me and say, well, the longer my video is, the less likely they are to watch that, the whole video. So you want to make those longer videos as short enough for the video to get the most points across, if that makes sense. So you don't want it to be 10 minutes and boring and people are just going to swipe past. But, continue to educate people, provide value. A lot of people say, you need to have a hook at the beginning of your video that addresses a pain point. That's kind of one of our biggest tips, to address a pain point at the beginning of the video. But then in those longer videos, remember that people are still, you still want to re-engage people throughout that video. So incorporate a middle hook, an end hook. Continue to address pain points and position your brand and your products as their solution. Another great way to keep people engaged is like quick zoom cuts. So kind of like zooming in on the important piece of the information, or, having like sound effects, things like that, and making sure that you're, again, using TikTok SEO, answering questions that your audience actually want to find out the answer to, or that your audience is searching for. Because like Madison said, people aren't searching, towel scrunchies if they don't know what that product is. Think about what the issue that your product is solving and incorporate these kind of phrases into your TikToks.
Yeah, I think that's like such a key piece. And it's not, sometimes you don't know what people are searching to, right? And then that's the beauty of having a community, because it's like, okay, how did you find, like, there's just so many ways that everything is cyclical. And I mean, I think the big thing is is to keep it simple off the bat. I know some things that we're talking about too, like it's taken me 2 years to get, I mean, a year seriously, I guess, to like really get to this point. Like it takes time. And I think keeping things like simple to start, but then like layering in again too, it goes back to who your target is, right? Like I was looking and I'm noticing a lot of our target audience is really just like mesmerized in those sort of like getting ready with me, like the really like choppy sped up videos. So we're layering that into our strategy and incorporating more of that video content too. So again, it's so easy to just post a video that you have that comes to mind, but like I feel like I like keep saying it, but it's only because like I've just really figured out the power of like having a strategy, just like hearing it. And I'm like, I am now going to be that person who is like, please don't do what I do. Strategize, like get help if you need it, because you can spend so much time and like our time is precious. Like it's important. And Hail Marys are great, but they don't necessarily get you sales or business consistently. And I think that's a huge piece. Oh, yeah. Liam asked, do you use a specific editing software? Do you edit in the app? I get stuck because I will post a video in the app. This is actually because I did have a question for you and it's all connected, so I want to sneak it in too. I always get stuck recording in the app because I'm watching a trend. I get an idea, I record it, which the editing capabilities kind of suck. But I'm like, but TikTok likes us to use it, but then I can't repurpose it. And
right, okay. So.
Well, TikTok is the be all and end all. There are other channels out there, and so then I get stuck not being able to repurpose the content.
Yeah, so I'm going to break that into 2 questions. Number 1, what editing software? So I either use, like you just said, in TikTok itself, depending on kind of what the video is. So for our own content, I will edit everything in TikTok. I'll record everything in TikTok. But for client content, obviously we work for a huge range of different clients, restaurants, house builders, kind of like location-based businesses, as well as product-based businesses like yourselves. So depending on what the video style is, I'll kind of film the content in the camera app, and then I use an editing software called Splice, which is free. And I'll edit the content in there, but I will never add the sound or the text in an external app. So I'd edit the footage to the way that I want it to look. I'd screen record the sound that I want to use on TikTok and put that video in, just so I know that the videos sync on the right beats. I will then remove that sound, take the video over to TikTok and add the sound through TikTok, in order to, tell TikTok we're using this trending sound, we're using these sounds that are popular, and then I'll edit all the text every time in TikTok, because TikTok text, as we know, is very important for SEO.
I know. I see people using external, and I'm like, why? No, like that's all part of the SEO. Like super simple things, but it's like people want their text to look cool, which is great. It might help with an ounce of engagement, but you need TikTok to be pushing out your video to even get that engagement.
With repurposing, so by doing that kind of style, I'll either, depending on, the client, we've just had a client that was local towards a garden centre called Bent's, and what I would do for them would be take that raw video that I've edited, I'd add the text in TikTok and the sound in TikTok, and then I'd take it over to Facebook and Instagram Reels and add a different sound and different text over there. Alternatively, we do use a repurposing tool called repurpose.io, which it is a paid for option, so it's not free. We do have a 20% discount code, which you can get in our bio. But the kind of the point for repurpose.io is it will automatically download your TikTok without the watermark to a Google Drive. And then you can either set an automatic or manual like repurposing publishing method where it can take that video to YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Facebook, Pinterest. And that kind of all goes on behind the scenes without you having to, distribute your content elsewhere. So it is a really good tool, and we use it for a lot of clients and for ourselves. However, it does depend on the platform that you're trying to push. So for us, that is TikTok, and for our clients, it is TikTok. But if if you want to push Instagram Reels, then you probably won't want that TikTok text on your Instagram. You want it to be Reels, Instagram text. So again, depends on your goals, depends on how much time you've got. Convenience is obviously a big thing for small businesses, time saving. So it is a good tool to use. But alternatively, doing that kind of editing in the editing app and then taking them elsewhere and putting the text on the platform.
Just keeping it simple with the raw videos, and then because that's what I always get nervous using repurposing tools, because I never know like if they're good, if you're going to lose quality. Someone has a splice similar to CapCut. I think so.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I see CapCut everywhere lately.
Yeah, CapCut is kind of like connected with TikTok, so again, a really good tool to use. It's just because I've always used Splice, so just you use what you know and stuff. But they're very similar. I have used both.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then if you've got me any questions, you can ask.
Yeah.
I've then got a quick fire round, which I've got 5 questions, and then if anyone does have any questions at the end, we can answer those. So my last question for you is, what is your kind of overall number one tip for small businesses wanting to grow on TikTok?
I have to pick one.
Just one tip.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to do a different one because I think I've made it clear that you need to have a strategy.
Yeah.
So that doesn't even count anymore, because if I haven't made that clear in this live, then I haven't done anything. But honestly, it is like the power of going live. I mean, that has been huge for us. It can be, and I think I say it because it's one of those things that can be terrifying at first. I saw Caitlin in here saying that like I finally was able to convince her to go live, and it's one of those things that if you really stick with it, there's just so much you can do with it. Like I was saying, with the ability to like treat it like people are coming into your shop, especially for e-commerce businesses. Like we don't have a storefront for people to walk into, and to be able to build that connection with people. And so many people are lacking it, because still in today's world, a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people don't have those like social interactions like they used to, and the ability to build that sort of connection with potential customers, because you will also find people like, I'm sure, I mean, I can't think of anyone off the bat, but I'm sure there are people who have purchased from us who don't wear scrunchies every day, who don't have the problem that we solve, but we've connected in a different way that has got them there. And I know it's tough. I know the going live at 1,000.
The 1,000, yeah.
Is the top one.
So you said before
that
I wouldn't agree with your method. So go on, tell us your method.
Yeah.
And then I was
going to say, it could be funny. You take everything with a grain of salt. And please don't kill me. I say do just about anything to get 1,000 followers to go live. Okay, I would say like consider your niche, consider your target audience, but don't go too hard in that. We had money in Toronto for people to find, and I hated it. I was like, it has nothing to do with our business. Like, what are we doing? I wouldn't say to start with that. I would say to like try and post videos like within your niche, and if that's not working, maybe just throw a Hail Mary. I've seen though, and this is a really cool one. I can't think of her name. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Can't think of her name off the bat, but she makes children's clothing, gorgeous products, and she started posting like parenting tips and parenting hacks, which could actually probably be part of her holistic strategy now. It's not necessarily her niche, but she was able to get those videos that hooked people in. She was providing value to them. It was like similar. No, it's not Ellie and B. It was similar to her, like children's clothes. She wanted to attract parents. Like it worked. She wasn't like, I mean, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably just a good like strategy for her to like continue. But it wasn't necessarily like exactly about her business, but it got some viral content out to get the followers. So that is probably the better thing to do. Throwing Hail Mary and hiding money in a city and getting followers, I would not recommend, but it worked and here we are. So
yeah, I mean, from our perspective, you know, we always do recommend sticking with, you know, your niche, and you know, you only really want to attract your target audience and people that, you know, will potentially buy from you. But there are ways to do that whilst, you know, whilst pushing on the followers. So, you know, kind of trial and error for the first few weeks, seeing what works, and then, you know, whatever does work, just doing that for the entire time until you get to the 1K, and then you can begin to nurture. So focusing on trends, focusing on like shorter videos, and kind of really trying to push the brand awareness. And then once you get the 1,000, that's when you can begin to build community, nurture, educate. So I'd say that would be my biggest tip, would be to
probably why it took us a lot longer to grow, in all honesty. I mean, there was an ounce of strategy because it was local based that we were doing at least. So we did get ourselves in front of people like within our community, but for the longest time, the comments and engagement we were getting pained me so much that if I were to go back, I would definitely do it with a little bit more strategy. But at the time, it was just like, we got to do something to like get that momentum. But yeah, my strategy would definitely be very different now. But
I mean, you could have hid scrunchies around, and that might have been a little bit more on brand.
That would, it definitely would.
It worked, like, and you know, you're now able to sell and you've built a community. You've got nearly 20,000 followers. You know, you've got people that consistently buy from you because of TikTok and, you know, because of social media. So, you know, you've definitely, you know, done really well. And I'm sure, you know, everyone who follows you and buys from you is, you know, is really invested into your brand. So that's, you know, incredible.
Yes, thank you. I mean, it's not without, like you're saying, a lot of trial and error and a lot of just like making mistakes. And that's also okay. Like, I find sometimes I feel guilty if I like post a video that like pushed the features and not the benefits. And then it's like, it's fine. I mean, that's also being the beauty of me working for myself is if I post a crappy video, I don't have anyone to speak to. So it's okay. But it's like, yeah, not being like afraid or discouraged. It's so easy to like see other people doing well. And that is probably the worst part of consuming. That's why I say like consuming content, like very much like with your business in mind and your customer in mind, but not so much to discourage when you see other people doing well, because it's so easy to compare.
Yeah. Then this is another thing that a lot of small businesses come and say to us. It's you know, I see everyone else going viral, everyone else is hitting those views that I want to hit, you know, why can't I do that? So it is easy for small businesses to feel that like disheartened, you know, why can't that be me type of feeling. But by taking some of the tips from you today, hopefully they can kind of, you know, understand that strategy is important, you know, community building is important and things like that. So I think your advice has been really good.
And I think that's like the cool thing about what you guys do. And this is kind of like a question of mine, because I've obviously now looking back, see the value in having that additional support, someone else who can look more holistically at my brand and say, maybe focus on this or not focus on this, to help put the strategy in, because it's taken 2 years of my time. So obviously you guys host a ton of like free content, which is just like, you're giving everyone a taste. We want the full buffet. But what other areas from a TikTok standpoint do you help with? I know we've talked like high level strategy, but I think, you know, as small business owners, there's always this struggle because we don't have a lot of time, but we're also working on a budget too. And so clearly you add a lot of value from a free standpoint, but I can only imagine if someone pays a little bit of money, like what else you guys can
Yeah,
help
so like you said, we've got our free stuff, you know, we post every day, and we've got a Facebook group which is free to join where we try and put tips in for businesses. We've just released a free content planner to help people plan their content and strategize. But with regards to paid stuff, we start from doing TikTok audits for £50, which, well, £50 in the UK obviously depends where you are. So yeah,
but that's the cool thing. It doesn't matter with TikTok where anyone's located. The platform's still the same.
We are so lucky to have clients now from, you know, we are only a small marketing agency based in Warrington in the UK, and I've got TikTok clients from Australia, Canada, America. You know, we get inquiries from, you know, all across the globe. So it is obviously amazing for us as well to be able to work with so many people. But yeah, so we start with the TikTok audits. We have 1 hour TikTok strategy calls, which are £180, and that is like your entire strategy done for you. We'll provide you with competitors.
In 1 hour.
Yeah. So think about those 2 years. You don't have to spend 2 years on a strategy. You can spend 1 hour and you'll kind of be good to go. So that's kind of where a lot of small businesses start, with the strategy call. We do also we offer coaching, which is where we send you a weekly content plan. So, you know, that's mainly for people that can't really think of the content ideas, struggling to come up with those. So that's a good one. And then that's kind of the strategy Zoom call type of things. But we do also then go on to do TikTok management for mainly people that are kind of in the UK, because it does work best, like we've discussed, having a face to the brand. So we typically will go to that business and create loads of content, and we'll post, edit, strategize. You know, we're thinking of starting to go to do TikTok lives with people and set TikTok live shopping up for those people. So there's a huge load that we do offer, and you know, you can, you know, if anyone's watching and does kind of want to get involved, you can drop us an email. But I think for small businesses, the best thing that you can do is just start posting, see what you can do without paying, and you know, try and get to grips with TikTok. And then if you are struggling and you don't really know how to create a strategy, and you know, you don't know how to plan content, that's when you can, you know, come to people like us and try and find that additional help.
Yeah, no, I think that's huge, having that ability. And I think that's the great thing. Like, again, if there are small businesses, like people from my side of things, and you're not following, you need to, because the amount of valuable information that you post for absolutely no cost is like, it's that perfect little taste of things. Yeah, you do so well, and it has helped me when I've been in so many funks of like not being able to come up with something. Just like so much value there. I almost wanted to keep you to myself and not share it, because I got so much good stuff, but I can't keep things secret. I can't keep things to myself. So I feel like it's like now everyone
Thank you.
My inside tips.
Right. Well, it is 2:00, so I'm going to ask these really quick fire questions. So all you need to do is like answer the question as straight to the point as possible.
Yeah.
So number 1, what's your favorite TikTok trend?
Oh, there's so many. I actually have one. I haven't posted it yet, but I think I'm so funny. I mean, I love a good song, but right now there's some good Mariah Carey ones for the holidays coming around. So that's definitely, but I like a good dance trend. The simple dancing.
Right. Number 2, have you got any podcasts that you recommend if you listen to those?
Oh, so I actually, this is like a little bit separate, but I really like Manifestation Babe. I'm like not an overly spiritual person, but she talks a lot of good business stuff. So I would say that it's more like not just business, but there's definitely a little bit of that.
Like it, I'll give that a listen. So question number 3, TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
Yeah. Number 4, one piece of advice for a small business, non-TikTok related, just a piece of advice.
Just do it. It's the hardest part is just getting started. And like, you don't need to have hundreds of followers to get started. Just start posting, have a business idea. But like, just like, I put off so many business ideas thinking there's going to be the right time, and there's never going to be the right time.
Yeah, love it. And last question, how many times per week would you recommend to post on TikTok as a small business?
Oh, I post daily, and I honestly, if you can go live daily too, go live daily. I now go live 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But when I started, I was going live daily.
Yeah. Perfect. Love it. Well, it is 2:00. If you've got space to maybe see if anyone's got any questions for 5 minutes. So if anyone does have any questions, pop them in the comment section. If not, we can go, and you can get in touch with both me or Madison afterwards, and drop us an email or drop us a DM on Instagram, TikTok. But yeah, Madison, it's been great having you on for the first episode of
So fun. I died when you reached out. Honestly, it's so cool. Like, over the last few weeks, getting to connect with you more than just like, you're always the girl with the tips in front of the white wall. Like, it's just like so cool what you've done, because like, it's just so recognizable. And I just like, your advice is so good. And I just like, I appreciate it so much, because it's been cool. Like, I died when I saw you duet like the one video I made, and I was like, what is happening? Like, I followed you for so long, and then when I saw that, I was like, no way. So like, yeah. Honestly, it's been so cool to do this, get to know you.
Thank you too. It's been great.
Beyond just the girl saving my TikTok butt on so many cases.
Oh yeah, no, it's been really nice to connect with you and to chat to you, and obviously if you've enjoyed it and everyone else seems to have enjoyed, we could potentially do again in the new year, maybe start doing things. Yeah. As I said, this is a new series that we're doing, but I kind of want to bring new people in to kind of help those other small businesses that they can look up to you and think, well, if you guys have been able to do it, why can't they, type of thing. So it's definitely something that we're going to be doing more of, and I'd love to.
I love it. You guys are like so good. I wish I could just like hop on a plane to the UK and meet you in person. I don't know, like, it's so funny because I think half of my For You page is like everyone in the UK, which is like the cool thing about TikTok. Yeah. I think it's because I'm obsessed with is it Max Balagde? I don't know. He is so funny. I am like obsessed with him. So I think I like watch so many of his videos that like I'm like always, and then I'm like engaging with yours, like stuff like that. So it's like, I feel like TikTok often thinks I'm in the UK, which I'm totally fine with. My dog's name is London for a reason. So it's been, it's so cool, the power of TikTok and being able to like have these connections with people like not right in our like immediate geographical location. So it works. And now my day is like started off on like the best note.
Well, I don't think anyone's got any questions, so thank you everyone who's joined and listened and interacted in the comments, and a huge thank you as well to Madison for coming on and being our first guest.
Thank you. Okay, bye everyone.
Right, bye everyone, thank you. Right, bye everyone.